Good evening and welcome to a BayPreps.com presentation. Tonight we're pleased to bring you a doubleheader from the West Catholic Athletic League Playoff Finals as we bring you the girls game followed by the boys final here on BayPreps. I am Pat O'Rourke and with me is the producer and cameraman Jerry Gerard, and we're excited to bring you for the second consecutive year on BayPreps these two outstanding finals in this terrific league. The girls final will pit Archbishop Mitty, a very familiar team in this final, against Sacred Heart Cathedral, the last non-Mitty team to win the girls final. And then the boys final is at 8 o'clock. That will be Sarah against Mitty in the top two teams during the regular season in the West Catholic League, both advancing to the final in the playoffs here on both the girls and the boys side. Now, as for the girls matchup, you're getting a look right now at Archbishop Mitty go through their respective warm-ups. They come in for a record of 20-6, and they're a team that has been plagued by injuries. A team that looks like they will have Vanessa Garner in the lineup tonight. She played briefly in a game against St. Francis, scoring 3 points in the semifinals the other night, what was a 45-30 win. But they are without Kaylin Simon. They've been without her nearly the entire year. She's played in just one game. They also are without DeAndre Gallipo, and that's significant, losing those two type of players. Gallipo hasn't played since January 9th, so those two players been out for over a month. We're not going to see him in tonight's game either, and that's what Mitty is dealing with right now, are those type of injuries. Sacred Heart Cathedral, on the other hand, is a team that is also dealing with some injuries. In fact, in their semifinal win, an overtime win over St. Ignatius on Thursday night, they lost Teresa Enriquez, a 5'5 senior, to a torn ACL, and that obviously puts her out for the season. Earlier in the season, they lost Jezebela Cazares to a torn ACL. That was very early on in the year, so the Irish have had some injuries as well, and despite all that, we've got two outstanding teams that are having terrific years. Sacred Heart Cathedral comes with a record of 20-4. They won the West Catholic League regular season title, going 11-1 and sweeping Archbishop Mitty in their two head-to-head meetings. Sacred Heart Cathedral winning the most recent meeting at home, 47-43. They also won on January 19th when they played in San Jose, 56-51. Before that Irish win, Mitty had won 4 consecutive head-to-head meetings, and as for Mitty, they have also won 3 consecutive playoff finals here in the WCAL. That includes the game we did last year when they played St. Ignatius, very good SI team. They won that game by 16, really controlled that game most of the way, and it was Hayes and Garner who were the two main players for Archbishop Mitty. Kelly Hayes, a 6'1 junior, one of the best players you'll find in the state, and Vanessa Garner, who unfortunately has been hurt by injuries this year, but is a very special player, and she proved it in that WCAL playoff final a year ago as a junior when she finished with 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. So that sets the stage for this girls matchup between the Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish and the Archbishop Mitty Monarchs as we get ready for the start. Not working with the strongest internet connection right now, so please bear with us if at any point we do lose connection, and we will be working hard to keep connection all night long. As far as rankings for these teams, Harold Aben does the BayPreps rankings for us, and he has Mitty be in front of Sacred Heart Cathedral, and that could be a point of contention for some Fighting Irish fans, considering Sacred Heart Cathedral defeated Mitty twice during the regular season and won the West Catholic League title. I was hoping to argue with Harold a little bit about that tonight, but Harold under the weather and so unable to make it to tonight's game. But his reasoning is that Mitty does have some very good non-conference wins and beat some teams like St. Francis that Sacred Heart Cathedral lost to, and that is why he has Mitty number 6, Sacred Heart Cathedral number 8. Now, as far as Mitch Stevens of the Chronicle, he's got the Irish 1 ranking in front of Mitty. He's got Sacred Heart Cathedral number 6, and the Chronicle has him at number 7. Mitty is number 18 in the state, and Sacred Heart Cathedral is unranked, and that's according to the Cal High Sports rankings that Harold also is a part of. And in the division rankings, according to Cal High Sports, Mitty is the number 2 team in Division 2, and Sacred Heart Cathedral is the number 5 team in Division 3. And these teams almost certainly will most certainly be playing in the CCS Open Division. Our first year of the CCS Open Division basketball we'll see at the conclusion of the year. And it'll be interesting to see, of course, who moves on to the Open Division in the state tournament, which begins following the sectional tournament. But we've got two very good teams that very well could be playing in that open division in states. In fact, it's more likely than not that they would be making it there, considering you have to think one of these teams, considering the way they've played all year, even with the injuries, are going to win CCS as well. So you could be seeing these teams play again in another few weeks. We are going to pause for our national anthem here in a moment. And, of course, a prayer before we get to the start for the West Catholic League Finals. Notre Dame Belmont Choir singing our national anthem. Excellent job by the Notre Dame Belmont Choir. Folks are still filing in here. As you can see on the other side, there's plenty of seats available right now, but you can expect that this place will be full by the time we get to the boys' final night. I'm sure we'll see more people coming in for the girls' matchup, coming in a little bit late, but Sarah travels well, and, of course, Mitty with a couple of teams playing tonight. Plenty of reasons to come out and watch this game, and as far as the fans that were maybe a little bit more boisterous here at the start when the teams entered the court, you have to give credit to the Sacred Heart Cathedral fans as they were a little bit louder before the start. We'll see who's louder during the course of the game. Starting lineups being introduced for the Archbishop Mitty Monarchs, 20-6. They are coached by Sue Phillips. Phillips, just an outstanding coach, one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the entire state. When you look at her resume, it's really tough to beat. And the lineup for Sue Phillips Monarchs include Emily Dinger. She is a 5'10 senior. Regina Chi is a 5'9 junior. Kelly Hayes is their best player, one of the top players you'll find in the state, a 6'1" junior. Also, Jordan Scott is a 5'10" senior. And Nijah Craig, player who has really come on for the Monarchs. When you talk about a team that's able to handle the adversity and the injuries. And you've got to particularly take a look at someone like Nijah Craig, who is a 5'10" sophomore. So again, for Mitty, Daner, Chi, Hayes, Scott, and Craig. No Garner in the starting lineup for the Monarchs. I'm sure we'll eventually see her. As for Sacred Heart Cathedral, Orion Russell in his first year at the helm, done a great job. He is 20-4, and of course that includes the West Catholic League regular season title. He starts Ashley Gaynor. She is a 5'8" senior. Gianna Summers-Luaulu is a 5'7" junior, and she is their top player. Brianna Smith is no slouch. She's a 5'6" senior. Kyrie Howard is a 5'4" junior. And rounding out that excellent lineup is Ashanti Coleman. She is a 6-foot sophomore. Gaynor, Summers-Luaulu, Smith, Howard, and Coleman for the Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish. We're at Los Altos Hills at Foothill College. Just a beautiful setting here at Los Altos Hills. Great day, and at Foothill College, Shannon Rosenberg and everyone else here at Foothill, a great job putting on these WCAL finals year in and year out. Mitty already on the court. As you can see, they're wearing their road black uniforms, the gold numbering and lettering. Sacred Heart Cathedral and the home whites. They are the number 1 seed because of that West Catholic League regular season title. They have the green numbering and lettering. The opening tip, Ashanti Coleman against Kelly Hayes. And we are ready to go. And the tip is won by the Archbishop Mitty Monarchs. This is Emily Dinner giving way to Hayes. Hayes played so well in that West Catholic League final a year ago. She nearly traveled. She did travel. And that's our first turnover of the game. It comes just 11 seconds in. Mitty applying the full court pressure here. As the inbounds comes from Smith. Having trouble in the backcourt. There's a steal. Nijah Craig's got it underneath Hayes. So each team's turned it over. It leads to an open three that is drained by Dinner. Quickly in the front court. Pull-up jumper drops in for Gianna Summers-Luaulu, and the Irish are on the board. We've played 35 seconds. Pass knocked away, and we're going to have our first foul of the game 45 seconds in. It's going to come against the Irish. It's going to go against Howard. So Mitty inbounds. Daner open, this time a two-point jumper. She's got it, so Emily Daner hot shooting to start off for the Monarchs. Irish basketball. Here's Summers-Luaulu. They try to trap her. She passes away from it, but then a traveling violation on Howard. So the Irish have turned it over on 2 of 3 possessions. And Daner will bring it up. Kelly Hayes. Crosses over, steps inside the lane, and she nearly traveled, no call. Tries to battle for her own rebound. Bodies hit the deck. And there'll be a foul call against Mitty. Mitty has won 3 consecutive West Catholic League playoff titles. The last team to win, other than Mitty, was Sacred Heart Cathedral in 2009. The Irish that year also won the regular season title like they did this year. In the front court, this is Summers-Luaulu. Underneath, for the layup, she finds Brianna Smith. So good job by Summers-Luaulu to break pressure, find her teammate. And the Irish are within 1. Dinner's got it on the left wing. Dinner moves to her right, steps to the elbow. Jumper from there, and Emily Dinner has not missed. 3 for 3 from the field. She's got all 7 of the Monarch points. The Irish with 10 on the shot clock, inside the lane, way too strong, getting her own rebound and putting it up and in is Kyrie Howard. Pretty easy to get your own rebound when you throw it off the backboard like that. The Irish within one. Here's Dinner open, or actually this is Chi missing the open jumper, and the rebound tipped into the arms of Coleman. Nearly a turnover, the Irish. They break it though. They got a 2-on-1. This is Smith attacking and scoring, and the Irish have their first lead. Four unanswered for Sacred Heart Cathedral. The team from San Francisco. Here's Nyjah Craig inside the lane. Gets it swatted out of there by Coleman. Again, the Irish fans a little bit more boisterous right now, and we're sitting close to them. As Mitty makes a host of substitutions, and among those who come into the game is the 5'8" senior Vanessa Garner. And a three-point jumper for the Monarchs put them in front. It's 10-8 on that made three. Open three the other direction. Misses by rebound underneath, put in by Brianna Smith, and we're all knotted up at 10. So good action here at the start. We're not even midway through the opening quarter. Each team's got 10 points. Turnover on the Monarchs, Kalia Griffin. That's the second turnover on Mitty. 4.5 to go in the first. Brianna Smith up top against the 2-3 Monarch zone. They get it down low. Turnaround shot off the window. Ashley Gaynor. The Irish are up by 2. And a timeout by Sue Phillips on the Archbishop Mitty bench. 4:10 to go in the opening quarter. Sacred Heart Cathedral is hot offensively as they were down briefly early and now have a 2-point advantage as you get a look in at the Archbishop Mitty huddle. Not happy with the way they've played defensively here at the start. Franklin Canyon Stables is very affordable, family-oriented, the place to go if you're looking for riding lessons, trail access, horse training, or boarding. That's Franklin Canyon Stables. For more information, go to kimshorsetraining.com. That's kimshorsetraining.com. So the Irish apply pressure out of the Mitty timeout. This is Janae Anderson bringing the front court. Anderson's been one of those steady players for Mitty. She can really shoot. Here's Hayes. Garner. Garner has that brace on her right knee. Inside the lane, the shot off the glass, scores for Anderson and the foul. And that will tie us all up at 12 apiece. They are not updating the fouls on the big board here, and the public address announcer is not easy to hear. So we're not sure on that foul, and on the free throw, we've got a lane violation on the Irish. So Anderson's going to get another crack to put her team in front with 3:51 to go in the opening quarter. High scoring start to this one. So Mitty has the lead as Anderson gets another chance at that free throw. Both teams applying full court pressure. It's led to some easy buckets. And there's nearly a steal in the backcourt. Nearly falling out of bounds is Summers-Luaulu, but ahead of the field, she finds Angie Daly, and Daly gets fouled. Great job by Summers-Luaulu. A lot of patience there. Looked like she was going to turn it over and fall out of bounds, and she found Daly. So you get a good look at Daly ahead of the field. That foul was on Garner, her first. Now we got the fouls updated on the big board as the first free throw ties the game up. For the Irish, we're going to see Kayla Kaloyan into the game for Kyrie Howard. Daly makes them both. So the Irish in front. 3:41 to go in the opening quarter. And Garner gets bumped as she dribbles it in the front court. LaRyan Russell doesn't like the call. The Sacred Heart Cathedral coach in his first year at the helm. Third team foul. First one on Kaloyan. Kalia Griffin turns it over, and this is Summers-Luaulu. Look at her hanging in the air, trying to score off the glass. Can't do so. She nearly ripped away the rebound, but we're going to get a foul, I believe, on the Irish. The foul is on Summers-Luaulu. 3.5 to go in the opening quarter. Kelly Hayes. Hayes tries to hang in the air and misses the shot. Good defense there by Brianna Smith. Kaloyan in the front court finds Summers-Luaulu. Her tough angle from the baseline, can't score. Hayes on the rebound. Working against the Irish man defense. This is Sammy Oliver. Overweight the Dinger, who started this game very hot, making her first 3 shots. Dinger's open for 3. Battle for the rebound. They're going to call a tie-up. Irish fans thinking that Angie Daly had her hands on it. More so than Sammy Oliver. The possession arrow does point Sacred Heart Cathedral's way on the alternating possession as Craig checks back into the game for Mitty. Anderson goes out. We're also going to see Julia Alexander into the contest for Oliver. 2:52 to go in the opening quarter. This is going to be a really good ball game if this action continues. Kaloyan working against the defensive Garner. Mitty switching it up quite a bit defensively. Here's Kaloyan stepping in. Jumper off the glass. First points of the game for the 5'2" sophomore. Dinger. Hayes against Coleman. Hayes didn't hold her dribble there. Gets away with it to Craig. Now Garner. Garner steps right side of the lane, runs into problems there. Garner, a player, really relies on her speed. That's what's tough about that injury she's had that's limited her. Bad pass down low, a steal by the Irish. And a timeout called by the Sacred Heart Cathedral bench to preserve the possession. With 2:06 to go in the opening quarter. Gives us an opportunity to thank Michael Mulry, your home loan purchase and loan finance expert at 925-967-3055. Let Michael Mulry, a West Catholic League alumni at CNA Equity Group, be your bridge, your most profitable equity partners. It's Michael Mulry at CNA Equity Group, 967-3055. Mitty and Sacred Heart Cathedral in the West Catholic League Playoff Final. The boys' final follows this one. That will be Mitty versus Sarah. Kaloyan brings it up the floor for the Irish. Tough shot, running shot inside the lane. The rebound tipped out of bounds off of Mitty. Using her body inside the lane, throwing it up and scoring is Gabby Vigil. And Vigil's got a chance for a three-point play. The Irish really making some highlight reel type of shots in this opening quarter. And she converts the three-point play, and Sacred Heart Cathedral has their biggest lead. 7 different Irish players have scored. Three-pointer from up top misses, and Kaloyan's got the board. The pass off the hands of Veal, but they're going to say the Monarchs and Regina Chi touched it last. The Irish swept the regular season meetings, winning those 2 games by a total of 9 points. 5-point win at Mitty and a 4-point win at home. Kaloyan. She's got Griffin all over her. And now a loose ball as Vigil couldn't handle it, and a timeout called by the Monarchs bench as they came up with that steal. So Mitty using a timeout. They want to keep a possession, just like we saw Sacred Heart Cathedral do. With 1:26 to go in the opening quarter, Sacred Heart Cathedral working with a 6-point lead. People still filing in here. You can see the other side is about half full. This side much more full than the other side. You can't really see this side, but it's about 75% full. Expecting a packed house by the time we get to the boys' game for sure. Here's Cheat. We're at Foothill College in Los Altos Hills. Griffin thought about the jumper, instead goes down low to Craig. Craig misses the shot. Battle for the rebound. Ripped away by Angie Daly. Inside a minute to go in the opening quarter, a lengthy opening quarter, and we'll get a foul on the Monarchs. Sue Phillips wondering where the traveling call is. The inbounds from Brianna Smith. Smith already has 6 points. She is the Irish leading scorer. Another tough runner there by Vigil, misses, and Craig's got the board. Craig's been pretty quiet here at the start for Mitty. Griffin travels. Each team's got 3 turnovers after that violation on the Monarchs player. 41 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Another Monarch steal. Vanessa Garner scores. First points of the game for the 5'8 senior. Quickly ahead, though, this is Coleman. Nice pass. Smith's got a layup. Mitty not getting back defensively, and I'm sure that's upsetting Sue Phillips more than anything. Giving up a basket like that after a made basket. 12 seconds to go in the quarter. Garner dribbling up top. The Let's Go Irish chant going, 5 seconds. Chi steps in, goes right to the hoop, and gets called for a travel with 1.5 left. Brianna Smith inbounding, only 1.5 seconds to go here. Not going to get a shot off. And that will be the end of the quarter with the Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish, the regular season champs. On top, 7 different players have scored for the Irish. They lead by 6 on BayPreps.com. So Sacred Heart Cathedral in front by a half dozen as we go to the second quarter. 8 points for Brianna Smith. Emily Dinner's got 7 for Archbishop Mitty. 5 turnovers for the Monarchs in that first quarter, 3 for the Irish. The Irish, though, out-rebounding Mitty 9-3. Monarchs basketball to start the second. This is Vanessa Garner. Pass deflected away, nearly turned over. Down low, they get to Craig. Craig tries to take it over Coleman. Coleman continues to play great defense. And pulling it in is Ashley Gaynor. Here's Kaloyan. Kaloyan's pass. It could not be handled by Summers-Luaulu, who fell to the floor. And it's the Irish who want a foul. Neither team's really that happy with the officiating. At least at the start. Sacred Heart Cathedral sitting back in the zone. Vanessa Garner to Emily Dinner. Dinner to Craig. Garner steps inside the lane, misses. The rebound, airballed by Jordan Scott, but it's pulled in by Garner. Wide open's Craig. Underneath, she catches, and again Coleman comes up with a big block. And Coleman's got to have at least 3 blocks right now. Kaloyan the other way, ripped away by Nyjah Craig. She can block shots too. She's going to bring it in the front court. Kicks it out, Dinner. Dinner has trouble catching. Open Garner for a 3. Summers-Luaulu the rebound. Summers-Luaulu bumped by Garner. She'll get a couple free throws. With 6:28 to go until halftime. The Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish, regular season champs, in front by 6. Summers-Luaulu, a 5'7" junior who was an outstanding player a year ago as a sophomore, makes the first free throw. Misses the second, the rebound to Scott. Cross-court pass, caught by Dinner, wide open for 3. Yes, Emily Dinner. Monarchs needed that 3 as they were down by 7 points. Their biggest deficit of this game, 6:02 to go until halftime. Mitty looking for their 4th straight WCAL Playoff Final win. Brianna Smith steps to her left, long 2-point jumper. The rebound to Hayes. Hayes can do it all, does not have numbers here though. Tiptoes on the sideline and she stepped out of bounds. Hayes is off to a very slow start in this game. No points, only a couple of rebounds after she had such a big game a year ago in this very same building. She had 19 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks against SI a year ago. Ashley Gaynor blocked out of there. Looked like Craig might have got a piece of it. Here comes Hayes. Can she get in a scoring column? Again, dribbling into traffic. Get it up to Scott, who nearly traveled. No call. Hayes inside the lane. She's surrounded by white shirts. Can't score. Rebound knocked out of bounds off of Mitty. Every time Hayes seems like has the basketball and is trying to make a move, it seems like she has about 3 white shirts surrounding her. And we're going to get a foul. Waiting for the call from the official. going to go against Scott. It's a 16 foul. So Monarchs' 7th turnover of this game. Here's Smith outside along the baseline. Shot blocked out of there in the attempt by Angie Daly, and then a foul by Daly. And the Mitty bench standing and applauding. It's going to start with defense. Monarchs bring it in the front court. Sammy Oliver looking to get rid of it, finds Hayes. 4:45 left in the first half. Hayes still looking for her first points. Lauren Muse into the game. Hayes now has it. This is Anderson. She'll find Muse, who airballs it, but it's caught by the Monarchs, and then a shot clock violation. So good defense by the Irish. And Mitty will bring back in Daner and Kalia Griffin as Anderson and Muse check out. Again, more and more people are filing in. I'm sure this gym will be full by the time we get to the fourth quarter of this game. Dangerous pass. Kaloyan tries to save it, can't do so, and the Irish turn it over for a 5th time. Janae Anderson just checked out. Now she's back into the game. She's someone that can really shoot. Tough bounce pass is a great look, and drawing the foul is Oliver. Well, that's a great feed by Anderson, who threw it to a spot knowing that Oliver would be there. Oliver wasn't even looking when that pass was thrown, but by the time she turned around, the pass was in her lap. So a 4:05 to go in the half. She can cut this lead in half, but she misses the first free throw. Oliver leads the Monarchs at 83% free throw shooting clip. And she makes 1 of 2. She's a 5'10 sophomore. We're midway through the second quarter. And Lorraine Russell over on the Sacred Heart Cathedral bench wants a timeout. If you're ever in the East Bay and you're looking for a good time and great pizza, Italian food, you name it, you want to go to Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria on the corner of Oak Grove and Ignacio and Walnut Creek. Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria is open late. If you're, whenever you got a game there, and of course we're getting close to NorCal times where teams from the Central Coast section maybe play teams from the North Coast section. Of course, Mitty played a game against Carondelet last year over in Walnut Creek when they played at Ignacio Valley. Well, when you're ever in that area, you want to go to Rocco's. They have a full bar, longtime supporter of high school sports. They've got TVs everywhere if you want to watch the game. That's Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria. You can also order online at roccospizzeria.com. Pat O'Rourke with you. Jerry Gerard is the cameraman and producer. We're on baypreps.com. The score is 22-19 in favor of Sacred Heart Cathedral. They have led by as many as 7. They have not scored, however, a field goal in this second quarter. Just 1 made free throw in this second quarter for the Irish. That's 1 point in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. So the Mitty Monarchs have turned it up a notch defensively. And they come up with another turnover. This is Dinger. She can tie up a 3. Griffin back to Dinger up top. 20 on the shot clock. Anderson to Nigel Craig. Dinger. Bounce pass back to Craig. 5 on the shot clock. Griffin goes to the hoop. Blocked out of there by Coleman. 1 second, and there's another shot clock violation on the Monarchs, their second of the game. And why don't we give Ashanti Coleman another block shot? She is really a factor down low, a 6-foot sophomore. Even when she's not blocking shots, she is altering them. And while the Irish continue to struggle offensively, they're stepping up on the defensive end as well. Summers-Luaulu between a couple of players. Hits the deck, and they're going to call a foul on Mitty here, and that's going to be the 17th foul on the Monarchs, and it's going to be 1-and-1 free throws for Summers-Luaulu. First free throw good for Summers-Luaulu. Bear with us here at Foothill College in Los Altos Hills. We do not have a real strong internet connection. As the second free throw is also good. And that puts the Irish up 5. Summers-Luaulu's got 5. Vanessa Garner with 3:05 to play in the second quarter. Hayes goes to the basket, hits the deck, and she's going to the free throw line. And maybe we'll get our first points of the game from Kelly Hayes. She averages 17.5 per game. Mitty's best player, but shut out thus far. She is a 76% foul shooter. Cassie Friedrich's going to check into the game for the first time for Sacred Heart Cathedral. Hayes makes 1 of 2. She has her first point of the game. But Mitty needs a lot more from her if they're going to win this game. Here she comes up with a steal. Hayes should have passed off. Instead, she gets the charge. Hayes had her teammate running with. Should have been an easy layup for Mitty. Instead, Hayes tried maybe do look too much. Gets called for the charge. 2:48 to go in the first half. Brianna Smith, great bounce pass. Coleman, they break the press and they get 2 points out of it. And the Irish are back in front by 6. A steal by Brianna Smith. And going and spinning around and missing a shot. That was actually Kyrie Howard. She can't get it to fall. Mitty gets it to Dinger in the corner. She's got another 3. Where would they be without Emily Dinger's hot shooting? Her third 3 of the first half cuts the lead in half. 2:08 to go until halftime. Down low, Smith. And a 3-second, or a traveling violation. Could have been a 3-second as well. Either way, it's a turnover on the Irish. They're 8th. Mitty's got 10 turnovers. Nyjah Craig against Coleman. To Dinger. Finds Newitz. Now Craig. Handoff Dinger. Free throw line jumper. And Emily Dinger gets it to fall once again. Terrific first half for the 5'10 senior Emily Dinger. .123 to go until halftime. And the Irish turn it over. That's their 6th turnover of this quarter. Sacred Heart Cathedral has just 1 made field goal in this second quarter. They took a 6-point lead into this quarter. Nigel Craig gets it stripped. Coleman comes up with a loose ball. Mitty not helping themselves with those turnovers either. Inside the lane, running right-hander, no. And the rebound to Craig. Waiting for Craig to make more of an impact along with Hayes. Neither one has had one, but despite that, Mitty's still within one, mostly because of Dinger. Just 7 on the shot clock. We've seen this a lot from Mitty. Here's Kalia Griffin going to the basket, missing. The putback also misses by Muse, and the rebound to Coleman. 28 seconds. The Irish turn it over again. Kalia Griffin pulls up for the long two. Didn't need that shot on the break, and on the rebounds tipped out to Mitty. As it goes out of bounds, Mitty will get the possession with 21 seconds to go. Vanessa Garner is going to check back into the game. And Griffin goes out. Number 1 seeded Irish in front by a point. They've led by as many as 7. Mitty looking for the lead, but a strip as it's knocked out of Kelly Hayes' hands. Kyrie Howard goes strong and draws the foul. It's going to go against Dinger, her first. 9th team foul. Automatic 2 shots for Howard, who was shooting on the play. She makes 1 and 2. And the lead's at 2. 6 seconds. This is Vanessa Garner. Garner's got 2 points. Garner with 1 second. Got to put it up here. She does, and she draws the foul right at the buzzer. And Ryan Russell is very upset over on the Irish bench. As you get a look at the Sacred Heart Cathedral coach in his first year, 20-4 record. And Garner's going to shoot 2 here. Nobody's going to be at the foul line because that foul was called right at the buzzer. The foul goes on Kayla Kaloyan, her second. So Garner can tie this game up before halftime. Oh, well, they are going to put .2 on the clock. Not that that matters. The only way really that matters is if Mitty can get a tip on the second free throw. Just 0.2 of a second won't be enough time to get a shot off, and now the clock operator having trouble determining how to put 0.2 seconds on the board. Not that you really need it up there. Because like I said, the only way anyone can score is on a tip with 0.2 of a second left. Still having some trouble over there. Right now they got it at 2 seconds instead of 0.2 of a second. If you're just joining us, Kelly Hayes has only 1 point for Archbishop Mitty. But they can tie this game if Garner makes both free throws, and she's got the first. Garner did not start this game, coming back from injury. She's missed 10 games this year, missed the previous 6 before playing in the semifinals against St. Francis. She sinks 2 free throws to tie the game up. And there's the buzzer at the halftime break. It's 27-27. The Irish of Sacred Heart Cathedral had led by as many as 7, but they're held to just 6 points and 1 made field goal in the second quarter. They're outscored 12-6 in that quarter. We'll take a break on the audio side. You're watching high school basketball action from the West Catholic League Finals. This is BayPreps.com. Coleman's made a presence defensively with a lot of blocked shots, at least 4 blocked shots here in this first half. Rebounding-wise, Sacred Heart Cathedral out rebounding the Monarchs 14-13. Mitty has 12 turnovers compared to 10 for the Irish. The Irish are 7 of 9 from the free throw line, and Mitty is 5 of 7. But the Monarchs have to feel pretty good, considering they didn't get much from Kelly Hayes in that first half, to be tied at the half right now. But Emily Dinner, as good of a player as she is, she's someone that averages 7.4 points per game. And you can't rely on that type of scoring in the second half. So other players, and again, not just pointing the finger at Kelly Hayes' direction. Nyjah Craig, who's not known for being a big-time scorer, but she's got no points in the first half. Vanessa Garner, coming back from injury, has 4 points in the first half. The shot misses for the Irish, and the rebound goes out of bounds to Sacred Heart Cathedral. As we're underway with the third quarter. Jerry Gerard, the cameraman and producer. I am Pat O'Rourke here on BayPreps.com. The inbounds from Kyrie Howard. Howard gets it back. Working against the Mitty zone. Knocked away. Dinner's on the steal. Vanessa Garner up top. The Sarah Padre boys basketball team has arrived. The Padres playing Mitty next in the WCAL championship game. Here's Garner. 8 on the shot clock. Mitty has taken the shot clock down quite a bit. They've had a couple of violations. Garner inside the lane. Finds Craig. 1 on the shot clock. Does she get it off? She did, but Summers-Luaulu's got the rebound. Brianna Smith. 8 first quarter points. Gets rivet to Summers-Luaulu, who drains a 3, and the Irish strike first in the second half. That's 8 for the 5'7" junior. Vanessa Garner working against Howard. Kelly Hayes still looking for her first field goal. Runs into traffic, hits the deck, no call. Loses it out of bounds. It's a Monarch turnover. And you can see Hayes is certainly pressing. Trying to do a little bit too much right now. Brianna Smith in trouble in the backcourt. Now it's Kyrie Howard. To Coleman. Coleman's got 2 points, but it's been a factor defensively. At least 4 blocked shots. Summers-Luaulu, 4 on the shot clock, attacks and scores. She's got all 5 of the second half points. And she is the first Irish player to reach double figures. Daner finds Craig left of the lane. Daner, 15 points. Here's Hayes. Good pump fake, steps back and nails the jumper. And Hayes finally has her first field goal with 5:43 to go in the third quarter. Loose ball knocked away by Garner and Mitty. Garner, Daner on the wing. Coleman battles for the rebound, saves it to Summers-Luaulu. And then it's knocked out of her hands. And the Irish will keep the possession. The inbounds taking a while, and it's a 5-second violation as Howard could not get it in. Third turnover this third quarter for Sacred Heart Cathedral. This is the West Catholic League Girls Final. The boys start at 8, although this game's ran a little bit long. Here's Craig the other way. In and out. Loose ball ripped away by Ashley Gaynor. Summers-Luaulu can't score on the scoop shot, but she drew a bump and will be going to the free throw line where she is already 3 of 4. The Irish were 7 of 9 from the line in the first half. Mitty was 5 of 7. Summers-Luaulu, very easy stroke from that free throw line. Already with 6 points in this third quarter. Craig, Garner, and Muse go out for Mitty. Sammy Oliver checks into the game along with Kalia Griffin. Regina Chi is also in. So 5-point game again for the Irish. Mitty nearly turns it over. Working against Sacred Heart Cathedral pressure. Here's Hayes. Weaving through traffic, nearly a carrying violation. She does get it back. This place is really filling up in Los Altos Hills. Along the baseline, Chi attacks, can't score. Coleman goes up with those long arms and pulls the rebound. Up top, this is Kaloyan. Kaloyan crosses over. Brianna Smith back up top. Summers-Luaulu with 11 on the shot clock. 7 on the clock. She threw it up thinking there was less time. Mitty fans chanting that one down and getting her to fire earlier than she wanted, and immediately the Monarchs still give it right back. Here's Ashanti Coleman scoring over Dinner. And the Irish have matched their biggest lead. This game that was tied at the half. Regina Chi to Kelly Hayes. Hayes hangs in the air and scores. That's the type of game you expect from Kelly Hayes, who had just 1 point in the first half. Has a couple of buckets in this third quarter, but her team has been outscored 9-4 in the third quarter, as we've got a timeout with 3:52 left in the third. Michael Maury is her home loan purchase and loan finance expert at 925-967-3055. Let Michael Maury at CNA Equity Group be your bridge, your most profitable equity partners. That's Michael Maury, 925-967-3055. If you're ever in the East Bay, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria is the place to go after the game. Open late, full bar, longtime supporter of high school sports. They've got live music on the weekends. They've got TVs everywhere if you want to watch the game. On the corner of Oak Grove and Ignacio and Walnut Creek. You can order online at roccospizzeria.com. Even though this is the West Catholic League and schools mainly in the South Bay and San Francisco, I know we've got a lot of viewers watching tonight from the East Bay, and you want to check out Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria. Every meal I've had there has been terrific. 3:52 to go in the third. Monarchs are starting to get Kelly Hayes going. But it's still been mostly a struggle offensively. They've trailed most of the time. Here's Summers-Luaulu pulling up from the elbow. Missing out of the back iron, but she's got her own rebound. 4 boards tonight. In the corner, Kaloyan airballs a 3. It's tipped out of bounds off of Mitty. And we're going to see Jaya Craig check into the game for Chi. Brianna Smith inbounds to Coleman. Now Summers-Luaulu. Free throw line. This is Gaynor. Turnaround jumper, no. Rebound on the floor. Griffin's got it. Griffin had Craig open briefly on the pick and roll there. Sammy Oliver draws the foul. That's going to go against Gaynor. It's only the second foul called of this second half, one for each team. That's the third personal on Gaynor. And the first free throw drops in for Oliver. Oliver now 2 of 3 from the line. 83% foul shooter, makes the second one as well. Mitty's won the last 3 WCAL Playoff Finals. The last team that wasn't Mitty to win the WCAL Playoff Final was the Irish in 2009. Here's Kaloyan. Open is Daly. Angie Daly misses a jumper, but Coleman's got her 6th rebound. Brianna Smith with Daly, Coleman, Summers-Luaulu, and Kaloyan on the floor for the Irish, the regular season champions in the West Catholic League, a team that's beat Mitty twice. Inside the lane, left-hander drops in for Brianna Smith, who's in double figures. 2:22 to go. Knocked away. Here's Kelly Hayes getting it back. Somehow she finds Griffin for 3. Who's got it? Second 3 of the game for Griffin. She pulls the Monarchs within 2. Summers-Luaulu inside the lane. Draws the foul. And Sue Phillips is upset over on the Monarch bench. Summers-Luaulu is already 4 or 5 of 6 from the free throw line. She's got 12 points. She misses the free throw. Misses them both, and the rebound goes to Hayes. Quiet game for Kelly Hayes. 5 points and 3 rebounds. Griffin shoots the jumper. Coleman has it knocked out of her hands out of bounds, but it stays with the Irish. .128 to go in the third. Summers-Luaulu stripped by Hayes, and it's going to be a foul on the Irish. 4th turnover this quarter for Sacred Heart Cathedral, 14th of the game. Foothill College is pretty much packed right now. It's the first of 2 games, the girls' final followed by the boys' game. Kelly Hayes inbounds to Garner. Hayes gets it back, but Brianna Smith, who's done a great job on her defensively all night, comes up with a steal. 15 turnovers on the Monarchs. And here is Smith getting fouled by the Monarchs with 1:10 to go in the third. Foul goes against Sammy Oliver, her first. Daly back outside with under a minute to go. 17 on the shot clock. Kaloya, nice feed underneath, finds Daly, misses the shot. Hayes has the rebound. Kelly Hayes in the open floor, ahead to Garner in the corner. Garner 4 points tonight, coming off the Mitty bench. Garner attacks the basket and draws the foul. Good aggressiveness by Vanessa Garner. Garner's got a big brace that we can see on her right knee. So you get a look at that brace right there. Got hurt near the end of last season. Has missed 10 games this year. She makes the first free throw. Easy stroke from the line. She's 3 of 3 from the line in this game. She's a 76% foul shooter on the year. And just like at the end of the first half when she hit 2 free throws, she can tie the game here in the third quarter with 41 seconds left. She does. A half dozen for Garner. Each team has scored 11 in the third. Kyrie Howard brings it across midcourt, nearly stripped from behind. There's 11-second differential in the game clock and shot clock. This is Summers-Luaulu. Summers-Luaulu scores once again. A big third quarter for the Mitty junior. She's got 9 points and she comes up with a steal. 16 seconds. Irish can hold for the last shot. Summers-Luaulu being checked by Hayes. 7 seconds. Crosses over, steps back. 2 seconds, 1, blocked out of there by Hayes, and there's the buzzer. So the Irish, after the game was tied at the half, will take a 2-point lead into the fourth quarter. Sacred Heart Cathedral leading by the score of 40-38 on BayPreps.com. So we go to the fourth quarter. Sacred Heart Cathedral outscoring the Monarchs 13-11 in that third quarter. 9 of their 13 came from Summers-Luaulu. Kelly Hayes still just 5 points tonight, averaging 17.5 per game on the year. The WCAL Playoff Final, a game Mitty has won each of the last 3 years. Kelly Hayes. Jumper inside the elbow, misses. The rebound tipped out of bounds off the Monarchs. Sacred Heart out-rebounded Mitty in that third quarter, 10-4. And they're up in that department, 24-17. Knocked, nearly stolen away by Hayes. Here's Summers-Luaulu to Brianna Smith. Smith outside for an open jumper by Gabby Vigil. And the rebound to Dinger. Hayes. Swing it around, open jumper, Jordan Scott. She can't convert. Vigil in the front court. Nice pass. Smith couldn't handle. Now does, but she stepped out of bounds. 6:58 to go. Slow start to this fourth quarter for both teams. As Scott checks out and Kalia Griffin checks in. Or I should say, Sammy Oliver checks in. Here's Oliver, running right-hander, doesn't get the bounce. Coleman tracks down the rebound, her 8th board of this game. Coleman's got 4 points, but she's made a big impact for the Irish. Here's Howard, airballing the jumper. Sacred Heart Cathedral does set up their pressure. Here's Craig with Coleman defending her. Gets rid of Garner. Garner attacks, scores, and draws the foul. What a play, Vanessa Garner. And she can give the Monarchs the lead with 6:17 to go. Garner already a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. And Mitty has their first lead since early in the first quarter. How do the Irish respond? And a timeout by LaRyan Russell on the Sacred Heart Cathedral bench with 6:11 to go, and the Monarchs now in front. Franklin Canyon Stables is very affordable, family-oriented, the place to go if you're looking for riding lessons, trail access, horse training, or boarding. That's Franklin Canyon Stables. For more information, go to kimshorsetraining.com. That's kimshorsetraining.com. You get a look in at the Irish huddle. They're a team that led by 6 at the end of the first quarter and led by as many as 7 in the second quarter, but the game was tied at the half. And they outscored Mitty 13-11 in the third quarter, but a 3-point play by Vanessa Garner in this fourth quarter, accounting for the only points. We've played a minute 49 in this fourth quarter. Irish basketball out of the timeout. Smith attacks. She's had a nice game, but that shot was partially blocked. It goes out of bounds, and the Irish will keep the possession with 17 on the shot clock. Again, not a real strong internet connection, so apologize for going in and out on that live feed. Trying to make do with what we have right now. Getting bumped on her way towards the basket was Gabby Vigil. It's going to be the 4th team foul on Mitty. And that's the 3rd personal on Nyjah Craig, who has no points and a couple rebounds from Mitty. Here's Gaynor attacking, and Hayes has the rebound. Kelly Hayes just 5 points tonight. That was her 5th rebound. Here's Dinner for an open 3. She's got it. What a night for Emily Dinner. Dinner's got 4 threes, 18 points. The game's leading scorer by 4. By far, Mitty up by 4. And a steal. Dinner's got it. Ahead, she finds Oliver. Oliver attacks, gets bumped, and draws the foul. And Sammy Oliver, you get a look at her. She heads once again to the free throw line where she is 3 of 4. And their scores table checking to see who that foul was on. So things starting to unravel a bit here for the Irish. There's still 5:23 left, but they've been outscored 6-0 this fourth quarter. Make it 7-0 after the free throw by Oliver. Irish had led most of this game. Makes one of two. Coleman's got her 9th rebound. Kaloyan in the corner finds Summers-Luaulu, and Kelly Hayes going up for another rebound. Hayes doesn't need to score a lot to make an impact, but they certainly could use some key buckets down the stretch. We've got now less than 5 minutes to go. And the steal by Coleman as Hayes turns it over. Ahead, Kaloyan gets it stripped out of her hands by Garner. Great defensive play there by the 5'8" senior Garner. Smith looking, finally finds Kaloyan. Mitty fans chanting defense. Foothill keeps filling up, more and more people filing in. At some point, I imagine they're going to have to turn people away. Along the baseline, Smith gets it blocked. Hayes does a great job of trying to save it, but it's out of bounds to the Irish. Laura Muse in the game for Dinner. Great game for Dinner. That three-pointer she hit moments ago was her first points of the second half, but still 18 in the game. Shot clock. Summers-Luaulu running right-hander is good. And the Irish finally have their first points of the fourth quarter. It took 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Remember, they had a long drought in the second quarter as well. Now the Irish fans chanting defense. This is Garner with 11 on the shot clock, finding an open Oliver. No on the three. Kelly Hayes the rebound. She gets it stripped out of her hands, and Coleman has the loose ball. Here's Smith running right into traffic. That's a charge. And Smith is hurt. Not a good sign for the Irish. They just lost Teresa Enriquez to a torn ACL on Thursday. And hopefully this is just a cramp for Smith. They just let a ton of people in this building. And everyone's coming up to the top, and I'm not sure where they're going to sit. Coming up here when they're going to be walking right by us and our equipment. And they're still attending to Smith down there. Told you these teams have each had some injury issues. Mitty more so than Sacred Heart Cathedral. Mitty without DeAndre Gallipo and Kaylin Simon tonight. They've been without those two players most of the season. The Irish lost Jezebela Cazares to a torn ACL before the year even began. And they also lost, we told you, Enriquez to a torn ACL on Thursday in the semifinal overtime win against St. Ignatius. So they still attend to Smith underneath the basket after that charging call. Big concern for the Irish is they have just one basket, 2 points in this fourth quarter in 4 minutes and 11 seconds. And outside of Gianna Summers-Luaulu in the second half, they have just 4 points from everybody else. Summers-Luaulu has 11. Stolen on the inbounds, and nearly a layup underneath for Howard. Coleman has the rebound. Mitty's 18th turnover. Here's Kaloyan. Outside for an open three for Howard. The Irish haven't made many threes tonight. They have just one in this game. Craig in the front court gets called for the violation. And Mitty having trouble taking care of it. 3-point Monarchs lead, 3:19 to go. So Irish basketball, just one basket in this fourth quarter. Who's going to step up for Sacred Heart Cathedral, the regular season WCAL champs? Kaloyan's got it right now. Short jumper, can't fall. Rebound, grabbed underneath by Howard, and she is fouled. Good hustle play there by Howard to go after that rebound. And because of it, she's heading to the free throw line where she is 1 of 2. The Irish team is 9 of 13 from the foul line. 2:54 left. And the free throw goes in and out. The Irish have now missed 3 free throws in a row. So she gets the lead down to 2. Irish apply pressure. Kelly Hayes ahead to Dinger. Sacred Heart Cathedral had their boys team in the WCAL final last year. They lost to Mitty. Now the girls team taking on Mitty. Dinger's got 18 points. Tried to get to Craig, but it's stolen away by Coleman, who's been everywhere for the Irish. Another opportunity for Sacred Heart Cathedral. And a timeout called by the Irish bench. With 2:23 to go. Well, Ryan Russell wants to talk to his team. Team that won the West Catholic League regular season title. They swept Mitty in their head-to-head meetings, winning 2 games by a total of 9 points, a 47-43 win less than a week ago. Or I should say a week ago when they played Mitty in San Francisco. And then on January 19th, they won in San Jose 56-51. Mitty had won 4 straight head-to-head meetings before those 2 Irish wins. The Irish looking for their first WCAL playoff title since 2009, when they also won the regular season championship. They're the last non-Mitty team to win a WCAL playoff final. So 2:23 to go. The boys' final is next. More and more people filing in. You can see the other side of the gym is pretty much full. This side of the gym is full. We've got a lot of people standing up top where we're situated. The inbounds is Summers-Luaulu. You have to think she's the key player for the Irish. She's their best player. She's got 16 points, 11 in the second half. Howard steps inside the lane. Blocked out there by Craig. Vanessa Garner's got the loose ball. Big-time play by Nyjah Craig, who has been pretty quiet tonight, but is always a tenacious defender down low. Inside 2 minutes. Kelly Hayes, just 5 points tonight. 8 on the shot clock for Garner. Garner attacks. Garner blocked out there by Coleman. Another big block by Coleman. Brianna Smith goes coast to coast, and it's blocked by Kelly Hayes. And Kays very pumped up after coming up with that key block. 1:40 to go. The inbounds from Smith. Plenty of time here for the Irish. 22 on the shot clock, 1:35 on the game clock. Summers-Luaulu against Garner. Gets to the Daly, now to Smith. Brianna Smith's got 10 points. 8 of those were in the first quarter. Now 7 on the shot clock. Summers-Luaulu spins her way around. Tough right-hander, it falls. Wow, what a tough shot with 1:14 to go. And nearly a steal by the Irish in the backcourt. Good hustle by Kaylee Howard. And we're going to get a Monarchs timeout with 1:10 remaining in the WCAL Playoff Final. All knotted up at 45. What a tough shot by Gianna Summers-Luaulu. She's been the player, really the only offense for the Irish in this second half. 13 of Sacred Heart Cathedral's 18 second half points have been scored by the 5'7" junior. And that was not an easy play or shot as she spun her way around and pushed it in with the right hand. .45-45, Mitty basketball. 1:10 left. See what the Monarchs do out of the Sue Phillips timeout. They'd have trouble getting it in. There's a 5-second violation. So the Irish a chance to go back in front. They've trailed most of this fourth quarter. Here's Summers-Luaulu. Mitty sitting back in the zone. Brianna Smith with less than a minute to go. 17 on the shot clock. Kaylee Howard to Smith. Summers-Luaulu. Can she create some magic again with 48 seconds? Gets a pick. Steps in. Short jumper. No good off the glass. Battle for the rebound. Picked up by Hayes. Top dinner. Garner open for 3. Too strong. Rebound though to the Monarchs, and now they can hold for the last shot. Big rebound by Sammy Oliver. 26.5 seconds left, and Mitty gets the last shot. Sammy Oliver, the 5'10 sophomore, who has 4 points in this game, all from the free throw line, with a crucial rebound. A player who averages 1.5 rebounds per game. And you get a chance to look at the Mitty students chanting the "I believe we will win" with 26 seconds to go. Now the Irish fans chanting. Great atmosphere, as always, in the West Catholic League. When you go to home gymnasiums in this league, you see it every night. But you're also seeing it here in Los Altos Hills on a neutral setting at Foothill College. And this is the first game of the doubleheader. The boys' final should be just as entertaining. The last 3 boys' finals in the WCAL have been decided by 3 points or less. Kelly Hayes does the inbounding. Hayes gets it back from Garner. She's had a quiet night, just 5 points for the 17.5 point per game scorer. Here's Oliver to Craig. Craig wants to attack against Coleman, goes up, misses. The tip rebound with 9 seconds. Right in front of the Monarch bench, it's Kylie Howard with 5 seconds. Howard by Garner, goes to the bucket, can't score. Craig with the rebound with 1 second. And then we've got a whistle just before the buzzer. They call the tie-up, and we'll see if they put any time on the clock. It won't be much if they do. Frantic action there. Craig had a good look at one end for Mitty. Howard went on the attack at the other end. And then on her missed shot, it was a tie-up on that rebound. And again, I can't imagine they would put much more time on the clock. It's looking like we could be going to overtime, and for Sacred Heart Cathedral, this would be their second straight overtime game. And a timeout by the Irish. They're going to put 1 second on the clock. So 1 second left with 45 seconds to go. Or with 45-45 our score. Not a lot of offense in this fourth quarter. We've seen only 2 made field goals for each side. Just 5 points in the fourth quarter for the Irish, 7 for the Monarchs. The Irish fans on their feet here with 1 second. They do have the basketball on that alternating possession. Going to have to take a quick shot here, and it's knocked out of bounds. And now this clock shows 0.0, but the buzzer never went off. Sue Phillips on the Mitty bench saying this game should be going to overtime. It says 0.0. There was no buzzer. And a timeout. And it looks like, in fact, we are going to be going to overtime. Or no, in fact, they're going to call a timeout for Sacred Heart Cathedral here. Because even though it says 0.0, it means there could still be some time on the clock because we never heard a buzzer. Let's see what the officials are doing here. We haven't yet to see a call, and it's fact is, okay, we are going to overtime. So 4-minute overtime with the score tied at 45. The second straight game Sacred Heart Cathedral has gone to an overtime. They won in overtime on Thursday night against rival St. Ignatius. 63-54. Does that help them or hurt them? I mean, they've got to be drained, obviously, 2 overtimes in 3 days. At the same time, they have that recent experience. Mitty won by 15 in their semifinal against St. Francis. So a wild game continues. Hayes will jump it up against Coleman just like we did at the start. And it's won by the Irish. Brianna Smith down low, Coleman. Coleman, tough shot, misses. Smith the rebound. Battle for the loose ball, and Craig comes away with it. Garner tries to go coast to coast. It's knocked away by Coleman. This certainly means we won't be starting the boys' game on time. The boys' game scheduled to start at 8, and they put that 2 hours between to be safe. But when you get an overtime game and a game that was already long, as Emily Dinger drains the jumper. Just her second basket of the second half, but she's got a game-high 20. Howard tries to answer. It's a long 2. The rebound to Coleman. Tries to save it and go out of bounds. Loose ball picked up by Howard. Short jumper, way off. Underneath, Brianna Smith scores and is fouled. And the Irish score the first points of the overtime. That's the second personal foul on Oliver. with 3:18 to go in the extra session. Missed the free throw, so can't convert the three-point play. Nyjah Craig, the rebound. This is Daner having trouble getting rivet to Regina Chi. Kalia Griffin cross-court to Daner. Daner a three with 8 on the shot clock, misses. The rebound to Angie Daly. Or I should say Ashley Gaynor. Summers-Luaulu, great pass to Smith, and Smith got hacked. Smith, who just missed 2 free throws, is going right back to the free throw line. Very tough player for this Irish team. Talked about with Coach in the interview we did with him yesterday when we previewed this matchup. She's guarded Hayes most of the night and has held Hayes to an off night. Just 5 points for the Mitty junior. This place is overflowed. There are a ton of people standing right now. So Smith makes 1 of 2 free throws. I apologize, I was a little bit late in the scoreboard. It is 48-47. Mitty did get that bucket the other end by Daner. So that free throw by Smith puts the Irish back in front. Jumper is good. Nicely done by the freshman Kalia Griffin, who's got 8. And Mitty is in front with 2:22 left. Howard shot blocked by Craig. Gaynor had trouble with it. And it's a traveling violation as Smith hit the deck with the loose ball. Nineteenth turnover on the Irish. Mitty's got 20 of them. 2:06 left. Monarchs get Chi in the front court. Against Gaynor, she draws the foul. So Regina Chi, who has not scored in this game, will head to the free throw line with 2:03 left and her team in front by 1. A 75% foul shooter who averages 3.3 points per game. She can make it a 3-point game with this second free throw. Muse into the game for Daner. Sue Phillips playing a little bit offense-defense right now. Missed free throw off the hands of Coleman, but she does track it down. 12 rebounds tonight for Ashanti Coleman. She also has about 6 blocks, according to my unofficial tally. 1:53 left. Brianna Smith, the pump fake, gets Hayes up in the air, attacks, and Hayes grabs the air ball. The Irish looking for the foul. 100 seconds remaining in OT. Try to get down low to Craig. Craig catches, misses, tip rebound. Battle for it. It's a tie up, and the possession arrow will keep it with the Monarchs. .124 left. Mitty has the ball in a 2-point lead in OT. Kalia Griffin's played a nice game for a freshman. It's rivet to Hayes. 22 on the shot clock. Hayes checked again by Smith. .13 on the shot clock for Garner. And Garner is fouled by Summers-Luaulu. It's like Summers-Luaulu was trying to foul there, although I'm not sure why, because there was still about 10 on the shot clock, and Garner's a good free throw shooter. Garner is a 76% foul shooter, and she's 5 of 5 from the line in this game for 9 points. 1 and 1, she missed it, but she has her own rebound. Monarchs get a new shot clock, 56 seconds to go, 22 on the shot clock. Muse in the corner finds Griffin for a 3. Tip rebound off of the Mitty Monarchs. It's Irish basketball with 40 seconds left. And Sacred Heart Cathedral, just like near the end of regulation, down 2 in the final minute. It was Summers-Luaulu who came through with the key bucket for the Irish, and you have to think they'll be looking her direction once again. Again, defense has reigned in this overtime, just like we saw it happen in the fourth quarter when the teams combined for just 12 points. They've combined for just 8 points in this overtime. Summers-Luaulu has 13 of the Irish 21 points since halftime. Obviously, the Mitty-Sarah boys game is not going to start the scheduled 8 o'clock time. Both teams waiting to take the floor here for warm-ups as soon as this game is completed. So 40.8 seconds left on the game clock. Obviously 30 on the shot clock for the Irish. Smith, Coleman, Summers-Luaulu, Howard, and Gaynor on the floor. You've got one door open to this gymnasium. Try to let some air out. There are a lot of people in here watching the conclusion of this WCAL Girls Playoff Final. Gianna Summers-Luaulu with 30 seconds left. To Howard. Howard attacks, runs right into Craig. Throws up a tough shot, can't score. Cheese got the rebound. And now the Irish got a foul. And it's Smith fouling Hayes. That's the 19th foul on Sacred Heart Cathedral, so it'll be 1-and-1 free throws for Hayes, who was 1 of 2 from the line in this game and is a 76% foul shooter on the year. The Mitty team is a very good 73% from the line this season. Hayes just 5 points tonight. She does have 9 rebounds. She can make it a 2-possession game. Loud cheer from the Monarch faithful as that first one drops. 20 seconds left in OT. It's a 4-point game as Hayes makes them both. 18 seconds. Summers-Luaulu and the Irish need a basket, and they won fast with 13 seconds. It's Howard stepping in, going to the rim, and scoring with 8 seconds. The Irish, though, out of timeouts. 4 seconds, got a foul, and nearly a travel on Dinner. It wasn't called. And it is going to be a foul on the Irish, I believe. Looked like Dinner jumped and came down. Thought initially I was going to be a travel, and the Irish fans can't believe it. And neither can Ryan Russell, the head coach. That would have given the Irish a shot, but with 1.6 seconds left, it's looking more and more like Mitty's going to win their 4th consecutive West Catholic League playoff title. It's an automatic 2 shots for Dinner. who is the game's leading scorer with 20. Her first trip to the line, she calmly sinks the first. A 78 on the year. And she makes them both with 1.6 seconds left. That should do it. The final buzzer sounds, and Archbishop Mitty, for the fourth consecutive year, they win the West Catholic League playoff title. They beat the Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish by the final score of 54-50. Despite losing 2 games to Sacred Heart Cathedral during the regular season, they certainly helped their seed in the CCS Open Division with this 54-50 win. So as you can see, they go through handshakes. We'll take a break on the audio side. Obviously, we're not going to start the boys' game on time. Mitty will play Sarah for the West Catholic League Boys Championship in about, you'd have to think, 15 or 20 minutes. We'll take a break on the audio side as Mitty wins 54-50. And, of course, they have to have the awards presentation as well, so we'll be keeping an eye on that as Mitty wins this playoff final. 54-50 the final score. This was a game that Sacred Heart Cathedral led by as many as 7 in the first half. They were up 21-15 at the end of the first quarter. This game was tied at 27 at halftime as they were held to just one field goal in the second quarter. They outscored the Monarchs 13-11 in the third, but Mitty outscoring Sacred Heart Cathedral in a defensive battle in the fourth quarter 7-5. And then Mitty outscoring the Irish 9-5 in the fourth quarter. Big buckets from Kalia Griffin and Emily Dinner. They were also 5 of 7 from the foul line in that overtime. Leading the way with Dinner, 22. For Kelly. Hayes did have 9 rebounds tonight as she had a subpar scoring effort. 8 for Kalia Griffin, the freshman, putting together 8 points for the Monarchs tonight. 4 for Sammy Oliver, 3 for Janae Anderson, and 1 for Regina Cheat. As for Sacred Heart Cathedral, 18 points for Gianna Summers-Luaulu. She scored 13 of those after halftime. 13 for Brianna Smith, who did a good job against Hayes defensively. 6 for Kyrie Howard. Ashanti Coleman's got 4. She did have 12 rebounds tonight. 3 for Gabby Vigil. I don't know if I mentioned Kyrie Howard. I did mention Howard with her 6. 2 points each for Angie Daly, Ashley Gaynor, and Kayla Kaloyan. The Irish out-rebound Mitty 36-31. Mitty had 20 turnovers compared to 19 for Sacred Heart Cathedral. Mitty was 16 of 21 from the foul line. The Irish were 11 of 18. Both teams, of course, will be competing likely in the CCS Open Division starting this next week. The Irish finished after tonight 20-5. Mitty improves to 21-6. And it looks like they're putting 27 minutes on the clock right now, so we're going to have quite a bit of a break until we get to the boys' game. So with that, we'll take a break as well. 54-50. The Mitty girls win their 4th consecutive West Catholic League title. The producer and cameraman, Jerry Gerard. I'm Pat O'Rourke on BayPreps.com as Mitty takes care of business in OT.